Uh, Good morning, students. Today we will study the experiment. The aim of the experiment is to study working principle of full wave bridge rectifier circuit and to trace input and output waveforms. So first of all, I will show you the construction of the circuit. So this is the full wave bridge rectifier circuit. So this circuit, it consists of 4 diodes in such a manner so that it constitutes a bridge. Now see, this is the input signal. This part is the input. That means, obviously AC signal is used because rectifier converts AC signal to DC. So this is the AC signal. So this is applied to this bridge rectifier. This is bridge circuit. This AC signal is applied to this bridge circuit through this transformer. So secondary winding of the transformer, and this is the primary winding of the transformer. So by electromagnetic induction, the signal is applied to this bridge circuit. So this first of all, see, during positive half cycle, this is the input signal. This is sinusoidal signal. So during positive half cycle, first of all, we will see the operation of the rectified circuit during positive half cycle. Thereafter, we will see the operation during negative half cycle. So first of all, during positive half cycle. So positive half cycle means, see, when this and P will be in a positive potential or in higher potential with respect to Q, then what will be the operation of the rectifier, that we will see. So during positive half cycle, obviously this and P will be in higher potential with respect to and Q. So whenever this is in higher potential with respect to this, at that time, see, if you see the polarity of the diode, so obviously this is the cathode of the diode, that is negative terminal of the diode, and this is the anode of the diode, that is positive terminal of the diode. So whenever this end is positive and this end is negative, because this end is in higher potential with respect to this end, that means at that time diode D2 will be, diode D2 will be in the conducting mode, because this is the positive terminal of the diode, this is the negative terminal of the diode. So similarly, diode D1 will be in the non-conducting mode. So diode D2 will be forward biased, diode D1 will be reverse biased. So as it is reverse biased and we are considering the ideal case of diodes, so we can consider the diode D1 acts as open circuit. Similarly, at that time, this is the negative terminal, this is the negative potential. So with respect to this, diode D3 will be in conducting mode. So diode D3 will be forward biased, and with respect to this potential, diode D4 is, see, this is the positive terminal. So diode D4 is in the non-conducting mode, that is diode D4 will be reverse biased. So we can redraw the circuit here like this. We can redraw if we consider the diodes as ideal. That means during positive half cycle of the AC signal, that means whenever this and P will be in higher potential with respect to and Q, at that time diode D2 and D3 will be forward biased and diode D1 and D4 will be reverse biased. That's why we are considering diode D1 and D4 acts as open circuit. Now for this condition, you see, we can show the direction of conduction of current through this circuit. See, obviously the current always flows from higher to lower potential. So obviously current will start moving from this and P. Thereafter, if we name this bridge circuit, then it will be convenient for us to show you the direction of current. We can name this P, A, B, C, D like this. Now I will show you the direction of current during positive half cycle. So during positive half cycle, the current conduction starts from and P. Thereafter, it will move through this and A. Thereafter, it will move through the diode D2. Thereafter, it will come at the point B. Thereafter, it will move through this load resistor RL. Then it will come at the point C. Thereafter, it will move through diode D3. it will come at the point D, and finally it will reach at the end Q. Okay, that means the current is moving from the higher potential at the end P to the lower potential at the end Q through this path. Okay, so this is the direction of the movement of current during positive half cycle. And see, in this bridge circuit, one thing you should know, the bridge circuit is constructed in such a way that this and the load resistor should be connected in this way, so that one terminal of the load resistor will be connected at the common point of anode points of the diode D1 and D3, and another terminal of the load resistor should be connected at the common cathode point of diode D2 and D4. See, this terminal of RL is connected here at the end C, and at the end C, anode of the diode D1 and anode of the diode D3 are connected, and another terminal of the load resistor is connected at the point B, and at this point B, one cathode of diode D2 and cathode of diode D4, these two will meet at the point B. So the load resistor should be connected between these diagonally opposite ends, and the AC signal should be connected between other two diagonally opposite ends, A and D. Okay, this is also very important. Okay, so this is this I have shown during positive half cycle. So as during positive half cycle, we have seen that current conduction is occurring due to the diode D2 and D3. So during positive half cycle of the AC signal, we will get the output across the load resistance. So we can name that D2 D3, the waveform, as because of flowing of diode D2 and D3 we are getting this waveform, that's why we can name this. Okay, next is during negative half cycle. So during negative half cycle, if you come to this main circuit, then you will see negative half cycle means when this end will be, the end Q will be in higher potential with respect to end P. So obviously when end Q will be in higher potential with respect to end P, then diode D4, if you see the polarities of the diode, then diode D4 will be in the conducting mode, so diode D4 will be forward biased. Diode D1 will be also in the conducting mode, so diode D1 will be also forward biased, and other two diodes D2 and D3 will be in the non-conducting mode, so D2 and D3 will be reverse biased. That's why D2 and D3 will act as open circuit. So right now if you see the current conduction, so current conduction will again start from higher potential, that means from the end Q. So it will move, it will start from Q, then it will move through this point G, then it will move through this diode D4, thereafter it will come to the point B, thereafter it will move through this load resistor RL, it will come to the point C, then it will move through diode D1, it will come at the point A, and finally it will end over at the point Q, P. That means the current conduction occurs from the Q to P. Now this is due to the diode, this current conduction occurs due to the diode D4 and diode D1. Okay, now see, during positive half cycle current is moving from end P to Q, and during negative half cycle current is moving from Q to P. But one interesting thing you see, during both the positive and negative half cycle, current is moving through the load in the same direction. During positive half cycle also current is moving through the load from B to C, and during negative half cycle also current is moving through the load from B to C. That's why during both the positive and negative half cycle, the output will be obtained across the load on the same side of the reference load. So because of because of conduction of diode D1 and D4, we are getting this waveform, output waveform across the load resistor. That's why we can name this waveform as D1 D4. So this is for the once complete cycle. This is the positive half and this is the negative half. Again, whenever you will go for the second cycle, that means second sinusoidal signal, again the same phenomenon will keep occurring. During positive half cycle, D2 D3 will be the waveform. During negative half cycle, D1, D4 will be the wavefront, and this process will go on. Okay, so this is the working principle of the full wave bridge rectifier. Now we will see you the, we will show you the circuit, practical circuit. See, so already you are acquainted with the polarities of the diode. See, this the silver portions are, the silver portions are negative, that is cathode, and this black portion is the anode. Okay, similarly here also this silver portion is cathode, black portion is anode. Here this silver portion is cathode, black portion is anode. Now obviously you have seen that the resistor, one terminal of the resistor is connected at the common anode point of two diodes, and another terminal of the resistor should be connected at the common cathode point of two diodes. So here see, the one terminal of the resistor, this terminal of the resistor is connected here. Okay, so this is the anode of this diode and this is the anode of this diode. So this is the common anode point of these two diodes where one terminal of the resistor is connected, and this is the another terminal of the resistor is connected at this point where the cathode terminal of this diode and cathode terminal of this diode are connected. That means the another terminal of the resistor is connected at the common cathode. So you have seen one terminal of the resistor is connected at the common anode of two diodes, and another terminal of the resistor is connected at the common cathode points of two diodes. So here see, this is the resistor. So obviously that means this resistor is connected at the diagonally opposite ends of this bridge rectifier, and obviously the AC signal is to be applied at the another two diagonally opposite ends of the bridge rectifier. So this is AC signal. AC signal we are giving from this. This is called transformer. We can produce the signal from the function generator also. So right now we are applying the signal, providing the signal from this transformer. So AC signal is applied to these two diagonally opposite ends. Now we will show you the AC signal, sinusoidal signal. Now this is our display where you can see both the input signal and AC signal. This is called DSO. This is called DSO. Okay, digital storage oscilloscope. So this is called probe. Probe is the instrument or accessory, you can say, which is used to connect the circuit diagram with this display circuit. Okay. Now we will see, there are two terminals of these probes. Now we will connect these two terminals. At the circuit. So first of all, we are connecting the probe on the input side because we need to see our input signal. Input signal is sinusoidal signal. So first of all, we will show you that. Now see, we have connected the probe on the input side, and from this display we can see the input signal. So this is input sinusoidal signal. Now we can measure that. This is measure button. See, this is measure button. Okay. So now you can measure the voltage. See, voltage is, see, this has two channels. Channel 1, DSO has two channels, channel 1 and channel 2. So for seeing the input, we have connected this probe at this channel 1. Okay, channel 1 is indicated by this yellow signal. Okay, so this yellow line, this yellow sinusoidal signal indicates that the probe is connected at the channel 1. Okay, now we will measure the voltage. See, frequency is coming. First of all, see, frequency is coming 50 Hz. Okay, frequency we will show later on. Okay, first of all, just a minute. voltage, see, V peak to peak is coming 1.14 volt. Peak to peak, see, this is the y-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. That means this is the reference y-axis, this is the reference x-axis, and the waveform, this is the waveform. So waveform is to be adjusted in such a way so that the half portion, that is positive half, should be on the one half should be on the positive side of the reference level, that is called positive half cycle, and another half should be on the lower side of the reference level, or negative side of the reference level, that is called negative half cycle. Now see, this V peak to peak indicates the measurement of or amplitude of overall signal from this to this, okay. This is 1.14 volt, and this V minimum is minus 600 millivolt. V minimum indicates this portion, as it is indicated by this negative portion, that's why it is coming negative sign. And V maximum, that is coming, let me show you. This is the upper portion, okay. 540 millivolt. Okay, you have to note down all these values, V minimum, V maximum, and V peak to peak. You have to note down all these values from this video.
Efficiency measure करता है.
See, 1.14 volt, okay. So you have to note down all these values, V maximum, V minimum, V peak to peak. Thereafter, from this you have to measure the efficiency, okay. So later on we will show you how to measure the efficiency. Whenever we will take your class, then we will show you the measurement of efficiency. And now we will show you the frequency and time period. So okay, frequencies, time period is 20 millisecond and frequency is 50 hertz. And obviously you know how to take the value of time period. Time period equal to 1 by frequency. So thus, as frequencies are 50 hertz, so whenever you will do 1 by frequency, then you will get the time period, that is 20 millisecond. So thus you can note down all these parameters, okay, whatever you are getting from this waveform. So this is about the thus we can study the input signal of the rectifier. Now we will show you the output signal. Now again come to the circuit. So for obtaining the input, we have connected the probe, two terminals of the probe across the input side, okay. That means where we have connected the two terminals of the function generators for getting the input, at those points only we have connected two terminals of the probe for obtaining the input. Now we have to connect the probe from the channel 2. In channel 1 we have connected this probe for obtaining the input. Now in channel 2 we have to connect this probe for obtaining the output. Now this probe is to be connected across the load resistor, because you know we are getting the output across the load resistor. That's why for obtaining the output signal, we have to connect two terminals of the probe across the output, and we have connected two terminals of the probe across the input from the channel 1 for obtaining the input signal, okay. Now this probe will be connected across the load resistor. Okay students, now I have connected only the probe for showing the output signal, okay. So again, right now I have connected the probe at the channel 1 again for showing the output. Initially I had shown you the input signal. Now I will show you the output. Now see whatever circuit. See, now see whatever I was telling earlier, that for obtaining the output you have to connect the two terminals of the probe across the load resistor, because load resistor across the load resistor we are getting the output. Now see, this probe has been connected across the load resistor for obtaining the output. Now see this probe. So this is your output signal. So this is you can see this is the full wave rectified output. That means during both the positive and negative half cycle we are getting the output. Every time we will get this. So again we can measure the voltage. So maximum voltage is 5.60 volt. You have to note down all the voltages. So maximum voltage 5.60 volt, minimum is minus 8.80 volt, and peak to peak is 14.4 volt. Okay, so thus you have to note down all the voltages. So thus we can get the output, rectified output for the applied input signal. So you have to now you have to measure the efficiency yourselves. Okay, and how to measure the efficiency, that I will discuss in your whenever I will take the class. In the class I will discuss that. Okay, so this is all about the full wave bridge rectifier circuit. Thank you all for attending this. Yeah, and obviously see, not only you have to note down the values, you have to draw both the input and output waveforms. Actually you are supposed to trace the input and output waveforms. So actually right now in this video I have shown you individually the input signal and output signal. So in that case, from this signal, that is from this video recording, you have to trace the, means you have to get the input and output waveforms. That means you have to you can't trace actually, rather I can say you have to draw both the input and output waveforms from this video recording. Thank you all for attending this video.